Hi, everybody. This is Matt Feldman. We're IC Topic Chats. We are in 2022. Happy New Year. It's January 6th. Today, we're going to be talking about a top 10 list of why to become an independent consultant, why this is a good idea. And frankly, a little bit of history. I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and I was one of those kids who stayed up late and watched Saturday Night Live. The kids were on the second floor, the parents were on the first floor, and we had a guest room with a TV. So I would stay up late on Saturdays and watch Saturday Night Live, but then during the summers, I would stay up late and watch David Letterman, which started at 11:30 p.m. And I would sneak into the guest room and watch David Letterman. And so I really got into those top 10 lists. So I thought, well, we seem to have top 10 lists at the end of the year to kind of celebrate what just happened. But we don't have sessions for the end of the year. So I thought I'd kick it off. I did this last year too, and I thought I'd start this again. But anyway, we'll go dive right into it. I'm hoping that after I get done with this presentation, we will have a chance to chat. And I'd like to hear your ideas about what would make it onto your top 10 list. So with that, I'm going to get started. First, the 10th reason to start your own consulting practice is you can be your own boss. Now, this is my dog, Maxwell Smart. We call him Max, and this is just a clever picture. Sometimes I feel like he is my boss, which is why I put him on there. But you'll find that most of the rest of these ideas that come from this conversation today are coming from just being your own boss, because it gives you the agency, the ability to do the things that you want to do. If you can create the opportunity to work with new consulting, you can create your own consulting practice around new clients, and you can do your own work. It gives you a lot of leverage to do what you want to, including dressing up your dog in silly glasses and taking pictures. You can work less. Now, this isn't my dog. This is just a clever picture. I originally was going to put a picture of me napping. It was a terrible picture. So I thought, well, I'll go find a picture out on the internet. Most of the rest of the pictures are pictures from me or logos from things that we do. But you do have a chance to work less, which I know this sounds crazy, because when you work less, number 8, you can also work where you want. Now, this is a very personal picture. My father passed away last April. Last February, we got a call. Hey, come see Dad. He's not doing well. And so my sister, who's in pink there, my stepsister, who's in the middle in stripes, and I got on a plane and we flew to Mexico, where he lived, and spent some time with him. So we were able to work where you want. When we did the ICTIG survey in 2015, we asked this question: where do you work? An overwhelming number of people wrote that they work from home. Probably about 20% of people said they have an office like I do. And then one person wrote in the comments, I work in a playhouse in the backyard. I think it was a joke, but we never know. So that's usually my backup picture for where you may work. Number 7, you can not only work where you want, but you can work when you want. So this is a picture with me and my daughter and her friend. This is fall 2019, pre-COVID. I would walk down the street from where I am located right now, and I would go and meet Madeline for lunch. I didn't have to ask permission. I could work before and after that, and it worked out really well. The big idea here is you can work in the middle of the night. You can work at typical office hours of 8 to 5. You can work fewer hours than a lot. So I think what we find are parents who have responsibilities for children oftentimes get into independent consulting, and they like the flexibility of the schedule. They don't have to work this on the boss's hours. They can work on the hours that they design. Number 6, make more money. And I think people think, how is that possible? When I first was thinking about independent consulting, I was talking to an evaluator who's still involved with AEA, and she says, I make 3 times as much money as what I used to make as in my full-time job. And so I don't know that everybody can make 3 times as much. I think she was in a unique situation. But I have made as much or more than I made in my position as a director of institutional research. in my previous position. This is a picture of the little trophy I received after completing a marathon in each of the 50 states, which was an expensive endeavor. And so that's why I put that up there. But getting out to each of the states, there's probably no way I would have been able to complete it without taking out extra loans or something to be able to do all that travel just for frivolity of running a marathon in each state. So number 5, identify and live your principles. And these are the principles for Goshen Education Consulting. So we often are, you know, our principles may not always align with the organizations we work with, but you get a chance to create your own principles. Who are you? Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? Who do you want to serve? And my kind of backup to this one was select your own work, which is kind of follows with identifying and living your principles. To me, I was all about education. So occasionally I would get requests to do things that are way outside of education. And I think, well, that's not who I am. But we as Goshen Education Consulting believe in our principles of integrity, which is the first principle always about, you know, speaking truth to power, working within a small community, locality. Third is clarity, writing reports. And this is before I even got into AEA, and we started talking about data visualization and evaluation that can be utilization. But clarity to us is writing a report that people want to read, that's valuable to them. And finally, continuity, and that's the sustainability. That's our principles. But you get to create your own principles, and that's the exciting thing. Of course, number 4, one of the great things about owning your own business is learning new skills. And so here's a bunch of the associations that I belong to, and I'm sure I'm missing some, but you know, I'm the president of EASL. I got a chance to create EASL I had the time to do that. I have presented at the Summer Evaluation Institute and very much a member of AEA. Number 3, you can create job security for yourself. And I know this sounds crazy because you think, well, I'm going to become an independent consultant and I have less job security because I have to go out and find this work. It's so hard. What if I can't find the next contract? And that is certainly a very real fear. And it's, you know, it's not one we all feel that way. But the reality is, once you get your first project, which one of the earliest, these are all, I'm going to list a bunch of clients that we currently have. Then the next one comes along, and then the next one comes along, and your relationship with one leads to the next, and the next, and then the next thing you know, all of these other things just start to fall in place. And this, what you see here, represents the 22 current or very recent clients that we have. And this doesn't even include the funding agencies, which I feel like I have great relationships with those program officers or others. So beyond job security, number 2, you can contribute to whomever. You get the chance to, if you create a successful practice, you get a chance to do things for other people that you want to do. That this kind of goes back to work where you want, when you want, with whom you want, but you can contribute your time. So we contributed to the Bring Your Own Bag initiative to limit, I guess effectively charge 10 cents per plastic bag usage in Edwardsville. And so that's limited the number of plastic bags used in our community. I was the project director for Painting the Town Gold 5K. And I helped start this Shop Small group that it's no longer around, but it was a group that kind of picked up at the beginning of the pandemic. And I've also helped found this running club for 5th and 6th grade girls. This was just what I do, but you know, everybody has their passion, and this gives you an opportunity as a small business owner to do the things that you want to contribute to, and it could be anything. And I'm sure there's a lot better initiatives out there than mine, but you know, these are the places that we've spent our time. Number 1 is the opportunity to succeed. So STEM Camp was a big success for us. We were fortunate to be involved with summer camps with a client, and then we were able to connect that to our military connected school districts. And so we got got to travel around and help start these summer camps at all these different locations. And you can see here in the bottom is some pictures of some people you might know on the call today. Kirk Nestis is standing back here in the very back of this. So these are people who are involved with our group. That's Susan, by the way. I don't know, did Leah ever make it on today? She signed up, but I didn't see her come on. That's Leah Neubauer. But if you guys know me and these things, I don't always end with the final list. So I always have to have a half. So my half, we're doing a countdown. So we have a 0.5 versus a 1.5. So the final thing, the final reason to consider opening and starting a business is the opportunity to fail. And I know that sounds counterintuitive to you, but I think it's super important. And this is a great quote from a book that I've been reading recently from Mark Manson. And the name of the book is, and you'll have to forgive me because this is his book name and it's not the way I talk, but it's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And it's actually deep philosophy, surprisingly, with the curse word in there, but it is good stuff. So I would like to know, and the discussion I want to initiate today is what would be on your top 10 list. And I'm going to switch over and I'm going to stop the video in just a second, but I do want to let you know that here's our sessions. This is today's session, the 1/6/22. Next week, and I'm gonna ask for anybody who'd like to help me with this, is the evaluator replacement session. I'd love to talk to some people about that and have some assistance with putting on that session. Otherwise, I'll do it. On January 20th, we're going to be talking about incorporation, so just about different business structures. I'm kind of surprised they don't have a session on that, so I threw that in there. I'd like to put together a panel on January 27th about working with difficult clients. I think a lot of us can probably talk about that. We're going to have a subcontractor fair on February 3rd. There's a lot to talk about here, and I'm happy to talk about that, not on the video, but that will be a 90-minute session, and we will have some people who we call the primes, people who do subcontracting with others like myself. There will be people who want to be subcontractors, and we will also set up sessions so that subcontractors can meet with other subcontractors, because oftentimes we could be a subcontractor, or we could also be a prime, meaning we could subcontract with somebody else to do work with us when we write a grant. So we're going to create an opportunity for that too. And our core topic for February will be niche identification. And we've got sessions through the end of March as well, but the slide's only so big. So with that, I'm going to stop the video and let's get into a conversation.